Okay, what's up? What's up? I think I am live. The title's wrong though. It's supposed to be 33 through 38, so I have to change that up. Let me make sure the group is good to go here. Put this in 33, 38 though. All right, looks like group is good. What's up, everybody? I'm gonna put a little shades on here for the blue blockers. All right, looks good. All right, we are live. What's up, everybody? What's up? It's time for Learning the Bible with Jeffrey. And today we're going to be doing Genesis 33 through 38. I've decided to pick it up a little bit and double the amount of reading. I have really enjoyed reading the Bible a lot. So I wanted to read more. So, anyway, Jacob meets Esau. Jacob, and where we left off, for anyone in last note, one note, Jacob had came back. He had all of his servants and his cattle and sheep, the speckled and the spotted ones that he'd gotten from serving Laden, and they he wanted to bring him back, and he was afraid that his brother Esau was going to kill him because originally he was, so he sent all of his stuff ahead of him, sort of as like a little bribe, and he didn't know. And now that's where we're at. Jacob looked up and saw Esau was coming with his 400 men. That's right, he had 400 men that he was bringing. So he divided the children among Leah and Rachel and two female servants. Is that Leah or how is this pronounced? Let's say, how do I say that? I've always messed that word up. Sorry. I think it's Leah. Leah? Leah?
Stay tuned and consider subscribing for more learning. How do you say it? Leah. In English, it is normally said
Leah. So, sorry about that. So Leah, which I guess it makes sense, Leah and Rachel and the two female servants. She put the female servants with their children in front of Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph in the rear. He himself went on ahead and bowed down to the ground 7 times as he approached his brother. But Esau ran to meet Jacob and embraced him and threw his arms around his neck and kissed him, and they wept. It's nice. Then Esau looked up and saw the women and children. Who are these with you? He asked. Jacob answered, They are the children God has graciously given your servant. Then the female servants and their children approached and bowed down. Next, Leah and her children came and bowed down. Last of them came Joseph and Rachel, and they too bowed down. Esau asked, "What's the meaning of all these flocks and herds I have met?" "To find favor in your eyes, my lord," he said. But Esau said, "I already have plenty, my brother. Keep what you have for yourself." "No, please," Jacob said. "If you found favor in your eyes, accept these gifts from me, for to see your face is like seeing the face of God. Now that you have received me favorably, please accept the present that was brought to you, for God was gracious to me, and I have all I need." And because Jacob insisted, Esau accepted. Then Esau said, let us come on our way. I'll accompany you. But Jacob said to him, "My Lord knows that the children are tender, and that I must care for the ewes and goat or cows that are nursing their young. If they are driven hard all day, all the animals will die. So let my Lord go on ahead of his servant, while I move among slowly at the pace of the flock and herds before me, and the pace of children, until I come to my Lord's sire. Sire, maybe." Esau said, "Then let me leave some of my men with you." "But why do that?" Jacob asked. "Just let me find favor in the eyes of my Lord." So that day Esau started on his way back to Seir. Jacob, however, went to Succoth, where he built a place for himself, and made shelter for his livestock. That is why the place is called Succoth. After Jacob came from Padan Aram, he arrived safely in the city of Shechem, Shechem in Canaan, and camped within sight of the city. For 100 pieces of silver he brought from the sons of Hamor, the fathers of Shishon. I gotta look these words up. The plot of ground where he pitched his tent. He set up and called it Hello, Israel? I'm not sure about that one. Diana, is it maybe? Is it Diana? Diana, the daughter of Leah, had born to Jacob, went out to visit the women of the land. Then Shechem, son of Hamor the Hivite, the ruler of the area, saw her and took her and raped her. Wow. His heart was drawn to Dinah, daughter of Jacob, and he loved the young woman and spoke tenderly of her. Well, not he raped her. And And Shem said to his father Hamor, "Get this girl as my wife." When Jacob heard that his daughter Dinah had been defiled, his sons were in the field and his life with his livestock. So he did nothing about it until they came home. Then Shechem's father Hamor went to talk with Jacob. Meanwhile, Jacob's sons had come in from the fields as soon as they heard what had happened. They were shocked and furious. Shechem had done this outrageous thing in Israel by sleeping with Jacob's daughter, a thing that should not be done. But Hamor said to them, "My son Shechem has his heart set on your daughter. Please give her to him as a wife." Gosh, this is crazy how they just treat women. "Intermarry with us, give us your daughter, and take our daughters for yourselves. You can settle among us. The land is open to you. Live in it, trade in it, and acquire it properly." Then Shechem said to Dana's father and brother, "Let me find favor in your eyes, and I will give you what you ask. Make the price for the bride and gift as I'm bringing as great as you like, and I'll pay whatever you ask. Give me the young woman as my wife." Because their sister Dana had been defiled, Jacob's son deceitfully replied deceitfully as they spoke to Shechem and his father Hamor. They said to them, "We can't do such a thing. We can't give our sister to a man who's not circumcised. That would be disgrace to us. We will enter into agreement with you on one condition only, that you come like us by circumcising all your males. Then we will give our daughters and take your daughters for ourselves. We'll settle among you and among your people and become one with you. But if you do not agree to be circumcised, we'll take our sister and go." Their proposal seemed good to Hamor and his son Shechem. The young man, who was the most honored of all his father's family, lost no time doing what they said because he was delighted with Jacob's daughter. So Hamor and Shechem went to the gate of their city to speak to the men of the city. "These men are friendly towards us," they said. "Let them live in our land and trade in it. The land has plenty of room for them. We can marry their daughters and they can marry ours. But then the men will agree to live with us as one people only on the condition that our males are be circumcised, as they themselves are. Won't their livestock, their property, and all their other animals become ours? So let us agree to their terms, and they will settle among us." All the men who went out of the gate city agreed to Amor and his son Shechem, and every male in the city was circumcised. 3 days later, while all of them were still in pain, two of Jacob's sons, Simon and Levi, Dana's brothers, took their swords and attacked and attacked the unsurprising city, killing every male. Oh my goodness. This is crazy. So they're like, "Hey, we're going to hook up with you guys. It's great, but you can't touch our women because it's a defilement to God." They're using a covenant of God to be of circumcision as their way to make sure the men are down because it's going to be painful, and they just went and killed everybody. They paid him. They put Hamor and his son Shechem to the sword and took Dana from Shechem's house and left. The sons of Jacob came upon the dead bodies and looted the city where the sister had been defiled. They seized their livestock and herds and donkeys and everything else of theirs in the city and went out to the fields. They carried off all the wealth and all the women and children, taking as plunder everything. And they took the women and children too. Wow. This is straight up diabolical, though. It's just crazy. Like, how is that? I know she was raped. That's terrible. Maybe it's eye for an eye. I don't know. That's just wild. And then Jacob said to Simon Levi, "You have brought trouble on me by making me obnoxious to the Canaanites and Perizzites, the people living in this land. We are few in number, and if they join forces against me and attack, I and my household will be destroyed." And they replied, "Should we have treated our sister like a prostitute?" On to chapter 35. Wow, crazy. Jacob returns to Bethel. Then God said to Jacob, "Go up to Bethel and settle there and build an altar there to God, who appears to you when you were fleeing from Esau." So Jacob said to his household and all who were with him, "Get rid of the foreign gods you have brought with you and purify yourselves and change your clothes. Then come, let us go up to Bethel, where I will build an altar to God, who answers me in the day of distress and who has been with me wherever I've gone." So they gave Jacob all the foreign gods they had and the rings in their ears, and Jacob buried them under the oak in Shittim. Then they set out, and the terror of God fell on the towns and all of them, so that no one pursued them. Interesting. I wonder what they mean by terror of God. They were just like too scared to follow him. Was it like storm? I wonder what came in there. They set out, and the terror of God fell on the town and all around them, so that no one pursued them. Jacob and all the people with him came to Luz, that is Bethel, in the land of Canaan. There he built an altar, and he called the place El Bethel, because it was where the God revealed him to him when he was fleeing from his brother. Now Deborah, Rebecca's nurse, died and was buried in the oak outside of Bethel. So it was named Elon Bakuth. After Jacob returned from Paddan Aram, God appeared to him again and blessed him. God said to him, "Your name is Jacob, but you will no longer be called Jacob. Your name will be Israel." So he named him Israel. And Jacob said to him, "I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and increase your number. A nation and community of nations will come from you, and the kings will be among your descendants. The land I have given to Abraham and Isaac, I will also give to you, and I will give you this land to your descendants after you." Then God went up from him at the place where he had talked with him. Jacob set up a stone pillar at the place where God had talked with him, and he poured out a drink, offering it to him. He also poured out oil on it. Jacob called the place where God had talked with him Bethel. The death of Rebekah and Isaac. So they moved from Bethel, where they were some great distance from Ephrath. Rachel began to give birth and had great difficulty. She was having great difficulty at childbirth. The midwife said to her, "Don't despair, for you have another son." As she's breathed her last breath before she was dying, she named her son Benoi, but his father named him Benjamin. So Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephraim, that is Bethel. Over the tomb Over the tomb, Jacob set a pillar, and to this day that pillar marks Rachel's tomb. Israel moved again and pitched his tent beyond Mijdal Adar. While Israel was living in the region, Reuben went in and slept with his father's concubine Bilhah, and Israel heard of it and Jacob's 12 sons. The sons of Leah, Reuben, the firstborn of Jacob, Simon, Levi, Judah, Ishkar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel, Joseph and Benjamin. The sons of Rachel's servant Baha, Dan and Nephtal. The sons of Levi's servant Zephal, Gad, and Asher. These were the sons of Jacob who were born to him in Paddan Aram. Jacob came home to his father Isaac in Mamre near Kirith Abba. That is her. um, Abba, which is Hebron, where Abram and Isaac had stayed. Isaac lived 180 years. He breathed his last breath and died, and was gathered to his people, old and full of years. And his son Esau and Jacob buried him. On to 36. Esau's descendants. This was the account of the family line of Esau. That was Edom. Oh, here we go with names. Get ready. Esau took his wife from the mother of Canaan, Edah, daughter of Elon the Hittite. Then, oh my goodness, oh, Oholiab, daughter of Enah, and granddaughter of Zabon the Hittite. So Basemath, daughter of Ishmael, and the sister of Neboith. I don't know. I'm messing these up. I'm sorry. Adam bore Zepheth to Esau. Basemath bore Raul, and oh my goodness. Um, Ohibram bore Joshus, Lam, Halam, and Korah. These were the sons of Esau, and they were born in Canaan. Esau took his wives and his and sons and daughters and all the members of their household, as well as his livestock and all his other animals and all goods that he'd acquired in Canaan, and moved to the land some distance from his brother. Their possessions were too great for them to remain together. The land where they were staying could not support them both because of their livestock. So Esau, that is Edom, settled in the hills county of Sire. This is the account of the family line of Esau, the father of the Edomites in the hills of Sire. Let's see. My goodness. These are the names of Esau's son, Eltzphas, the son of Esau's wife, Ador, and Rael, the son of Esau's wife, Basemath, the son of Ephraim, Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gadim, Kins. Esau's son Eliphaz also had a concubine named Timnah, who bore him Almech, and these were the grandsons of Esau's wife Ada. The sons of Reuel, Nahath, Zara, Zerha, Shemmaha, Zim, Zimha. These were the grandson of Esau's wife, Basemath. The sons of Esau's wife, O Olabah, daughter of man, this is terrible, of Nahah, and grandson of Zebon, whom she bore Esau, Jushus, Jalam, and Korha. These were the chiefs among Esau's descendants, the sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn of Esau, son chiefs Teman, Omar, Zepho, Kins, Korham, Gadam, and Almech. These are the chiefs descended from Ephes and Edom. They are the grandsons of Adahah. This wow, I'm so sorry I'm messing all these names up. I know I am. The sons of Esau, the sons of Esau's son Reuel, chief Nezva, Zerahemah, Shamman, and Mezha. These are the chief descendants from Reuel and Edom. They were grandson of Esau's wife, Basemath. The sons of Esau's wife. Why is this important? Like, why? I mean, like, I understand. I mean, it's just for the whole lineage for tracking down to Jesus Christ. Understand? I mean, again, a lot of these stories, I can discern valuable information and learning from them, but they're just a combination of stories right now. There's not really a huge amount of teachings from them, at least not directly. I mean, you can always pull stuff out of the text, but it's just very interesting. I'm glad I'm reading this because I was not aware of the difference as much between the Old and New Testament. So the sons of Esau's wife, chiefs, okay, I read this. Read that. We are the sons of Seir, the Horite, who were living in the region. Lotan, Shobal, Zebron, and Anah. Dison, Zaire, and Dishon. These are the sons of Zer in Edom, where Horite chiefs. The sons of Lotan, Hori, and Homan, Timnin, and Lotan's sister. The sons of Shobal, Alvin, Manahath, Ebdal, Shepho, and Onam, the sons of Zib, Zibon, Aya, and Anna. And this is Anna who discovered the hot spring in the desert where he was grazing the donkeys of his father Zaban. The children of Aha, Dishon, and Ohablamaha, daughter of Anna, the sons of Dishon, um, Hem, Dan, Eshma. Man, these are terrible. Ethran and Haran, Karan. The sons of Zir, Bilhan, Zavan, and Akan. The sons of Dishon, Uz, and Aran. The sons of these were the Horite chiefs, Lotan, Sabal, Zibion, and Dishon, Esser, and Dishan. These were the Horite chiefs according to their divisions of the land in Seir. The rulers of Edom. These were the kings who ruled in Edom before any Israelite king reigned. Bela, son of Behor, became king of Edom. His city was named Dinhabah. Well, then Bela died. Jacob, son of Zerah from Bozar, succeeded him as king. When Jacob died, Husham from the land of the Temanites succeeded him as king. When Husham died, Hadad, son of Bedad, who defeated Midian in the country of Moab, succeeded him as king. His city was named Abiath. Then when Hadad died, Samuel from Mazrekah succeeded him as king. When Shemla died, Shaul from Rehoboth in the river succeeded him as king. When Shaul died, Balhan, son of Akbor, succeeded him as king. When Balhan, son of Akbor, died, Hadad succeeded him as king. His city is named Aul, and his wife's name is Melhem Tabal, daughter of Madrid, daughter of Madrid, the daughter of Menzeha. Wow, this is crazy. These were the chiefs descended from Esau by name according to their clans and regions. Timnah, Alva, and Jetheth, Uba. Okay, wow, these are crazy. Elhan, Pinon, Kins, Timon, Mibzir. Wow, these are terrible. Magdal, Aram, and these are the chiefs of Edom according to the settlements and land they occupied. This is the line of Esau, the father of the Edomites. All right. Only two more left. This is going great. Other than all right, sounds like we're out of the rough part now. We're out of the names. All right. 37. Jacob's dreams. Jacob's story has been an interesting story. There's been, it has not been one of like purity and honor and a bunch of different stuff. It's interesting that God chose these as his people. You know what I mean? Like I understand they're serving him blindly, especially when Isaac was going to kill his son and everything, but just very interesting that um the Old Testament. So Jacob lived in the land where his father had stayed, the land of Canaan. This is the account of Jacob's family line. Joseph, a younger man of 17, was tending his flocks with his brothers, the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilphath, his father's wives, and he brought their father a bad report about them. Now Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other sons because he had been born to him in his old age and he made an ornate robe for him. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak a kind word to him. Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. He said to him, "Listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field when suddenly a sheaf rose up and stood upright, while the sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it. His brothers said to him, 'Do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us?' And they hated him all the more because of his dream of what he had said. Then he had another dream, and he told it to his brothers. 'Listen,' he said, 'I had another dream, and this time the sun and the moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me.'" Wow, that's a lot to say. When he told his father as well as his brother, his fathers rebuked him and said, "What is the dream you had? Will your mother and I and your fathers actually come and bow down to the ground before you?" His brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind. Joseph sold his brothers. Wow. Now his brothers had gone to graze their family's flocks near Shechem, and Israel said to Joseph, "As you know, your brothers are grazing the flocks near Shechem. Come, I'm going to send you to them." "Very well," he replied. So he said to them, "Go and see if all is well with your brothers and with their flocks, and bring back word to me." Then he sent him off to the valley of Hebron, and Joseph arrived at Shechem. A man found him wandering around in the fields and asked him, "What are you looking for?" He replied, "I'm looking for my brothers. Can you tell me where they're grazing their flocks?" "They have been moved from here," the man answered. "I heard them say, 'Let's go to Dothan.'" So Joseph went after his brothers and found them near Dothan. But they saw him in the distance, and before they reached him, they plotted to kill him. Wow, here comes that dreamer, they said to each other. "Now, come now, let's kill him and throw him into one of these cisterns, and say that the ferocious animals devoured him. Then we'll see what comes of his dreams." Wow. When Reuben heard this, he tried to rescue him from their hands. "Let's not take his life," he said. "Don't shed any blood. Throw him into the cistern here in the wilderness, but don't lay a hand on him." Reuben said this to rescue him from them and to take him back to his fathers. So when Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped him of his robe, the ornate robe he was wearing. They took him and threw him into the cistern. The cistern was empty and there was no water in it. So a cistern is just like a giant vase, like pot. You can think of it. So he just threw him in this pot. As they sat down to eat their meal, they looked up and saw a caravan of Ishmaelites uh, coming from Gilead. Their camels were loaded with spices, balm, and myrrh, and they were on their way to take them down to Egypt. Judah said to his brothers, "What will we gain if we kill our brother and cover up his blood? Come, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites and not lay our hands on him. After all, he is our brother, our own flesh and blood." His brothers agreed. Wow. So they're just going to sell him as a servant, huh? Or slave. So when the Midianites merchants came by, his brothers pulled Joseph up out of the cistern and sold them for 20 shekels of silver to the Ishmaelites, who took him to Egypt. When Reuben returned to the cistern and saw Joseph was not there, he tore his clothes. He went back to his brother and said, "The boy isn't here. Where can I turn now?" Then they got Joseph's robe, slaughtered a goat, and dipped the robe in the blood. They took the ornate robe back to their father and said, "We found this. Examine it and see whether it is your son's robe." He recognized and said, "It is my son's robe. Some ferocious animal has devoured him. Joseph has surely been torn to pieces." Then Jacob tore his clothes and put on sackcloth and mourned for his son for many days. Then Jacob tore his clothes and put on sackcloth and mourned his son for many days. All his sons and daughters came to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. "No," he said, "I will continue to mourn until I join my son in the grave." So his father wept. So his father wept for him. Meanwhile, the Midianites sold Joseph in Egypt to Potiphar, one of the Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guard. All right, chapter 38. Almost done. It's fine. Judah and Tamar. At the time, Judah left his brothers and went to the city with a man of Aldam named Hirar. When Judah met the daughter of a Canaanite named Shuha, he married her and made love to her. She became pregnant and gave birth to a son whose name was Er. She conceived again and gave birth to a son whose name was Onan. She gave birth to another son and named him Sheila, and it was Sheila. It was a Kesbi that she'd given birth to him. It was at Kesbid that she gave birth to him. Judah got a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. But Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the Lord's sight, so the Lord put him to death. Wow. Then Judah said to Onan, sleep with your brother's wife and fulfill your duty to her as a brother-in-law to raise up offspring for your brother. Really? That was your duty? Was if your brother's wife was, if he died, to sleep with her so they could continue the lineage? Wow. Wow. A lot of incest back then and stuff. But Onan knew that the child would not be his, so whenever he slept with his brother's wife, he spilled his semen on the ground to keep it from providing offspring to his brother. Wow. Wow. What he did was wicked in the Lord's sight, so the Lord put him to death. Wow. So Judah then said to his daughter-in-law Tamar, live as a widow in your father's household until my son Sheila grows up, for he thought he may die too, just like his brothers. So Tamar went to live in her father's household. After a long time, Judah's wife, the daughter of Shea, died. And when Judah had recovered from his grief, he went up to Timon to the men who were shearing his sheep, and his friend Hira, the Ab- Abdulmite, went with him. And Timur was um, When Timur was told his father-in-law was on his way to Timnah to shear sheep, she took off her widow's cloaks, covered herself with a veil to disguise herself, and then sat down at the entrance of Neman, which was on the road to Timah, for she saw that when Sheila had now grown up, she had not given to him as a wife. When Judah saw her, he thought she was a prostitute, for she had covered her face. Not realizing that she was his daughter-in-law, he went over to her by the roadside and said, "Come now, let me sleep with you. And what will you give me to sleep with you?" she asked. "I'll send my young men's goat from my flock. Will you give me something as a pledge until I send it?" she asked. He said, "What pledge should I give you?" Your seal and your seal and its cord and staff in your hand," she answered. So he gave them to her and slept with her, and she became pregnant by him. What the heck? Wow. After she left, she took off her veil and put on her widow's clothes again. Meanwhile, Judah sent the young goat by his friend the Abdomite in order to get his pledge back from the woman, but he did not find her. So now he's lost his staff. Um, he asked the man who lives there, "Where's the shrine prostitute who was beside the road in Enam?" "There wasn't any shrine prostitute here," they said. So he went back to Judah and said, "I can't find her. Besides the man who lived there, there hasn't been any shrine prostitute here." Then Judah said, "Let her keep what she has, or we will become a laughing stock. After all, I did send her this young goat, but you didn't find her. After all, I did send her this young goat, but you didn't find her." About 3 months after Judah was told, "Your daughter-in-law Tamar is guilty of prostitution, and as a result, she is now pregnant." Judah said, "Bring her out and have her burned to death." Wasn't he just what? Okay. Um, she was uh, she was being brought out. She sent a message to her father-in-law. "I am pregnant by the man who owns these," she said, and she added, "If you recognize these seal and cord and staff, see if you recognize whose sealed and cord and staff these are." Judah recognized them and said, "She is more righteous than I, since I wouldn't give her to my son Sheila, and she did not sleep with her, and he did not sleep with her again." When the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. As she was giving birth, one of them pulled out his hand so that the midwife took a scarlet thread and tied it on his wrist and said, "This one came out first." But I guess because the like lineage is so important for firstborn stuff like that or sons. but when he drew back his hand, his brother came out, and she said, "Nah, so this is how you have broken out." And he was named Perez. And then his brother, who had the scarlet thread on his wrist, came out and was named Zerhan. So interesting. Lot of, I mean, just sort of wickedness, man. I'm just surprised, in my opinion, the stuff that goes on here. I'm glad we're reading twice as much. I feel like this is great. And I enjoy reading this. I'm glad I'm learning more about the Lord. Thanks everybody for joining today, and I will see